Autumn, the season of fallen leaves, Halloween festivities and nights that seem longer, thicker, and far more secretive. In that darkness, there are stories people avoid telling not because they aren't real, but because they're too real. The following 3 stories are chilling warnings about what might be lurking behind your front door inside a resort that feels too safe or even within your own mind. Do not look away. And remember, never listen alone. Story 1. My roommate sleepwalks. But he knows I'm awake. I never thought I'd be afraid of someone who was asleep. This was my first year at college. I just wanted to focus on studying, avoid drama, and hopefully get a chill roommate. I was assigned a guy named Rodney, tall, skinny, quiet, polite. I was relieved. At least he wasn't messy or the party-all-night type. But by the end of the first week, something felt off. One night while I was up late studying, I heard soft footsteps in the hallway. I peeked out and saw Rodney standing in the kitchen. No lights on, no sound. He was holding a small knife like he'd been peeling fruit. And his eyes, they were wide open, glassy, staring through me like I wasn't there. I called his name. No reaction. Then he slowly turned, walked over to the wall, pressed his forehead against the cold tiles, and whispered, "Don't lock the door. Don't lock the door. Don't lock the door." The next morning I asked him about it. Rodney just gave a nervous smile and said he had parasomnia, a sleep disorder that caused sleepwalking and talking. I didn't fully believe it, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. That night I locked the door carefully and even wedged a chair under the knob just in case. By morning the door was wide open, the chair had been moved, and I know I didn't sleepwalk. I started losing sleep, losing control. To be sure I wasn't imagining things, I set up my phone to record from the closet corner while I slept. The next morning I watched the footage. At 3:13 a.m. Rodney opened his eyes, sat up. He slowly walked toward my bed, stood there, not speaking, not moving, just watching. Then he tilted his head and smiled, a slow, deliberate grin, like he knew he was being recorded. Then calmly walked back to bed, pulled up the blanket, slept. I couldn't do it anymore. I went to the dorm office and asked to change rooms, or at least check my roommate's record. When I gave them the name Rodney, the staff looked confused. "We don't have any student named Rodney assigned to that room." I froze. I couldn't breathe. They checked the system again. No Rodney, no registration, no student ID, nothing. I ran back to the room. The door was cracked open like someone was waiting for me. Inside, the place had been torn apart. Laptop, books, clothes, all scattered like someone had searched every inch. But the worst part. On the wall, written in what looked like dried blood-red ink in neat handwriting, I told you, "Don't lock the door." Police investigated, found no signs of forced entry. The hallway cameras glitched out that exact night, and the video I had recorded deleted, replaced by a 3-hour clip of pitch black. I moved out the next day, but sometimes, at exactly 3:13 a.m., I wake up and feel like someone is standing at the foot of my bed, silent, still, watching, and smiling. Story 2. The thing that headbutts the walls at the abandoned pumpkin farm. Not everything in the dark wants to be seen, but once you see it, it's too late to look away. Last fall, my friends and I had a reckless little tradition. We explored abandoned places around the outskirts of town. Old factories, collapsed hospitals, tunnels. But that night was the first time I realized some places are abandoned for a reason. The pumpkin farm was once packed every Halloween. Now it had been closed for nearly a decade. The old owner disappeared, no goodbye, no trace. Just left behind a weathered wooden house, a collapsing barn, and fields of rotting pumpkins growing taller than a person. Locals said the place felt wrong, but no one ever explained why. We got there just before midnight. The moonlight barely cut through the clouds, casting eerie shadows across rows of scarecrows still standing in the field, some so decayed they looked like corpses stitched to sticks. As we climbed over the broken fence, my flashlight flickered, then died. Everyone else's lights worked fine, so I brushed it off. Probably dead batteries. We started in the barn, peeling wood, the stench of mold and dust thick in the air. Then we heard it. Thud, thud, thud. From upstairs, like something was slamming its head or something heavy into the wall. There were 5 of us, so we decided to check it out. I went first, holding my phone light, my hand trembling. As I crept up the stairs, I spotted him through the narrow space between the stair rail and the wall. A man, shaved head, wearing dirty brown clothes, slamming his forehead into the wall over and over hard enough to crack the plaster. We froze. Then one of my friends shouted, "Hey, what are you doing?" Big mistake. The man stopped, didn't turn around, didn't say anything. He just stood there, rigid, like an animal that's just picked up your scent. Then suddenly, he whipped around. His eyes were rolled back white, his mouth twisted sideways, and he screamed, "Now it's your turn." We ran. I slipped at the bottom of the stairs, hit the floor hard, and I swear to God I saw him crawling after us, like a spider. Elbows and knees bent backwards, moving faster than any human should. We burst out of the barn and into the pumpkin field. But something was different. The scarecrows were no longer where we remembered them. One was wearing the same shirt as that man. Another one had real hair. I didn't stop to check. We ducked behind a rusted-out pickup truck, gasping for air. Someone in our group called the cops. While we waited, I got a message on my phone. No contact name. Just the words, "You left too early. I didn't get to play with you." Before we could react, one of our flashlights clicked on and lit up the scarecrow standing right behind us. Only it wasn't a scarecrow. It was him. Perfectly still, holding a rusted blade, not blinking, just smiling that same crooked, unnatural grin. Then, police sirens. The man vanished. Just gone. Cops searched the property. No one found. Body cams picked up nothing but shadows and our panicked breathing. But a few days later, one of my friends received a package. No return address. Inside was a moldy straw hat that stank like it had been buried in the ground for years. And a single handwritten note. "Next time, let's play hide and seek. I'll count first." Story 3. The Faceless Man at the Lakeside Resort. Sometimes the scariest thing is someone who's too friendly. Last fall, my wife, our 7-year-old son Logan, and I spent a few quiet days at a lakeside resort in Colorado. The place was beautiful red maple trees surrounding the cabins, calm waters, and a peaceful kind of silence only nature can offer. But on the 3rd day, I noticed something unsettling. Logan wasn't looking for our attention anymore. He was looking for someone else's. That afternoon, while I was brewing coffee and my wife was checking emails, Logan was playing in the shared courtyard. When I called for him, I saw him standing near the edge of the property talking to a man in a gray hoodie. The man was crouched beside the fence, handing Logan something, a small green laser pointer like a cheap toy. I rushed outside. The man looked up, and here's where it gets strange. His face was blank. Not literally faceless, but afterward I couldn't remember a single detail. No eyes, no expression, no smile. Nothing stuck in my mind. Just a thick, creeping sense of wrongness. I asked Logan who he was. He just smiled and said, "He said we're going to hunt treasure after dinner." That night, while my wife was in the shower, I examined the laser pointer. Under the light, I noticed something faintly etched on the side, a circle with 3 symmetrical dots inside. It looked like some kind of tribal marking or strange insignia. I went to the security office and asked to see the camera feed from the playground area. After some pushing, they let me. But during the exact time Logan said he met the man, there was no one there. Just Logan, standing alone, talking to thin air, reaching out to nothing. When I returned to the room, Logan was asleep. I locked the pointer in the drawer. That night, I had a dream. Logan was following someone, a tall figure in a gray hoodie, into the woods. The man used the laser to draw symbols onto tree trunks as they passed. I tried to yell out to call Logan back, but he didn't hear me. The man turned slowly. Where his face should have been was only darkness, a swirling void. No eyes, no mouth, just a black hole. I woke up gasping at exactly 3:00 a.m. The room was still, curtains drawn, no breeze, but from near the door I heard something, a whisper, so faint I almost missed it. "Logan." I walked over. No one was there. But on the floor just under the door frame was a folded slip of paper. Inside it read, "This time I'll come earlier." The next morning we packed up and left. At checkout, the front desk clerk asked something that chilled me to the bone. "Oh, your friend in room 2B, he's staying a few more days, right?" "Excuse me," I asked. She double-checked the book. "The man who said he was your friend left a note for Logan, said they'd go treasure hunting again today." I grabbed my wife and son. We left fast. But the weirdest part. A week later, Logan was doing his homework. Out of nowhere, the laser pointer, the one I threw away, lit up on the desk. No batteries. No one touched it. It cast a glowing green circle on the wall. Inside it, the same symbol, a circle with 3 dots. Just like before. How are you feeling? After those 3 stories, have you ever felt like someone was watching you from afar, from the shadows? Or maybe from right behind you when you thought you were alone? If you believe strange things only happen to other people, just remember they used to think that too. If this video gave you chills, hit like, share, and don't forget, the darkness itself isn't what's terrifying. It's what's hiding inside it. I'll see you in the next set of stories, if you're brave enough to come back.